Greetings, Jeff Schielke, Mayor of Batavia, speaking to you on Friday, December 16th, 2022. And I just want to dedicate this week's report to the wonders of Christmas in Batavia. And I'm very proud as the mayor to see all the generosity and support and kindness that really comes driving out of this town at the Christmas season. And, you know, the vast majority of us really work hard to enjoy a joyous Christmas season. It shows the strength of the church community in our town. It shows the strength of the various civic organizations that are there. Yesterday I attended a Christmas party of the Batavia Women for Business, which is a group associated with the Batavia Chamber of Commerce. And it was, we were up at the Enticing Cuisine on North Washington Avenue, and it was just a very fun and Christmas-filled moment. And a lot of folks showed up and donated Christmas toys for the Batavia Access Toy Program. And on that, I want to say that last Sunday was the initial day of distribution of toys, and they had assembled a list of families in Batavia who we were certain could use some support. And Roy and Jeannie Bailey and their family, their daughter Brittany, if you watched the last city council meeting, she was on TV. She's a teacher up at Geneva High School, but she was on representing her family because they kind of had this up, and really did a wonderful job talking about the needs of Christmas in Batavia. And so Roy Bailey reported to me yesterday that so far we have distributed toys to well over 600 children in the community of Batavia. And that's all been done without any taxpayer money being put into it. It's all been done by generosity and groups that understand what's going on. And I guess one of the things I'm the most proud about is that this year is the 74th year that the community of Batavia has come together and put this toy program on. It started back in 1948 with the Batavia Fire Department, then under the command of Chief Bud Richter, had one guy on duty at the downtown fire station on Island Avenue, and Chief Richter made the decision that during the month of December, instead of some of the normal work the firemen did, they would commit themselves both day and night, most of their shift, and people would bring in broken toys, and the firemen would then fix them. And as I told the women up at the dinner yesterday, one of the great challenges for the Batavia Fire Department is that many people donated dolls to the Christmas toy program, which was a wonderful thing to do, but many of the dolls were missing an arm or a leg, and so the fire department had its own little box of doll parts that they could probably find one that would work in the broken doll. But the bigger challenge was they needed clothes for the dolls. And so that word got out, and we had several of the women's groups in town from the VFW and the American Legion and others all got together and would come down and get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dolls at any given time, and they'd take them back to a meeting, and then the women would all sit there and make doll clothes. And they'd get these dolls all dressed up over a period of days and then return them to the Batavia Fire Department. Another thing was the fixing up of broken bicycles. And the police used to find them, and they'd take all the bicycles down to the fire station, and the firemen would repair the bicycles. And then on the 23rd of December, the Batavia Rotary Club members would show up at the fire station with pickup trucks, and they'd load these up, and they'd have a list of toys that were to be distributed to certain addresses in town where they thought that the family may need it. So instead of letting the family know this was even happening, the Rotary would, after dark, show up at your doorstep and take 2 bicycles and 3 dolls and 2 toy trucks or whatever they thought was needed, and they'd put this stuff on the front doorstep as if Santa Claus had been there and delivered things. And that's how the whole thing started, and it really did spark the hearts and the goodwill of Batavia and made it a place that I think here we are 74 years later, and it's a little bit like the fireworks program, which is also in its 70s as far as the community doing it. we still do that without using taxpayer money, and on the 4th of July, we fire that off. So Batavia has a couple of strong traditions here that really have been something that we should take great pride in, and I want to thank everyone this year who's made a donation, because Roy Bailey's telling me that this past few nights he has been over to the distribution site, and they're getting still families showing up that need the toy support. And so he says he's well over 600 families that are kids now that he's donated to, and he's really blessed that we have had other folks show up with toys. Many people have gone to stores and bought toys and just brought them over and dropped them off at the distribution point, which is the old Sam's Club on Randall Road. And we've gotten everybody taken care of to this point in time. So it looks like the December 24th and 25th should be a happy day in Batavia, because we certainly, I think, have done our best to take care of the kids around. Now, one of the things, just for the fun of it, I want to also talk about going back into history. Back in the 1950s, when I was in elementary school, the Batavia Insurance Cooperative, which was the group of men and women who ran insurance companies in Batavia, along with the fire department, raised money. I think the school district may have had their hand in this, and they subscribed to a magazine that was then printed and circulated to all the elementary schools in Batavia, and it was called the Junior Fire Marshal Magazine. And every year, I think there were 6 copies of the magazine published during the school year, and every year at Christmas time they would have a special issue of, protecting yourself against fire during the Christmas. And in 1959's edition, they had the front page of the magazine reads, "A Golden Rule for Happy Yule." And basically at that point in time, all the Christmas trees were natural Christmas trees that somebody had gone out and cut out of the ground or dug out of the ground. And so it was, now a lot of the Christmas trees are made of fireproof materials, and they're not as concerned about it as they used to be, but there still have been, and I know of several instances where we've had Christmas trees catch on fire in Batavia, and a couple of places where we've almost burned the house down because it gets going so quickly and so intensely. And then you also run the risk that you're burning up all the Christmas presents underneath the tree. So this is a sad moment when this happens. So they printed this thing called the Golden Rule for a Happy Yule. And it says here to the kids, here's how to keep your Christmas tree safe from fire. So if you're a Batavian today and you still have a real Christmas fir tree in your living room or family room, these are still things that you should observe. Number 1, stand the tree in water or a bucket of wet sand. 2, check the tree lights for frayed wires or loose surfaces. And if you have any, remove those and replace them. 3, keep the tree away from radiators, fireplaces, and doors. 4, use only fire-resistant decorations. 5, turn off the tree lights when you go out of the house. 6, keep all gift wrappings and electric trains away from the tree. And 7, when needles start to fall, remove the tree from the house. Now, I thought it was interesting we talked about electric trains, because I got to believe there are still trains floating around trees, but they're probably not electric. They're probably some kind of a computer or battery operated driven situation. But that's all the world moving forward. But I thought this was an interesting article for those of you who still do have real Christmas trees, because this goes back to 1959. And here I am 60 plus years later giving you the story about what we should be doing in Batavia for Christmas trees. And while we're at it, I'd like to switch over for just a couple moments. The Batavia Police Department has shared with me that they want to see everybody have a happy Christmas too, or Merry Christmas. And they say that, their advice is, we've got people that like to come into a town like Batavia and kind of shop the neighborhoods. And specifically, they're looking for garage doors open or house doors open or something that is out there that will give them the opportunity to run out, jump out of a car, run up and grab it and take it back and hopefully get themselves something. And then we've had some burglaries over the years where people have targeted specific homes where they they look in the window and see many presents under the tree, and they kind of keep an eye on the house, hoping that they can find a time when they know that the residents are not going to be in their home. And so as a result, you've got to be somewhat careful when you have trees and you got a lot of presents, maybe not to open the curtain so wide or show anything off. I know a lot of people love to have Christmas decorations in their yards, which is very nice, but at the same token, you know, you got to be cautious inside that house where you put those trees up, say by your rear deck or you know, by your family room or whatever have you, that you don't open the window in such a way that it allows people to get up on the deck and look inside and see what you got in there for Christmas trees and make your house then a target for people to break in. So I share that because I have friends that I know have those types of situations going, and I caution them that, you know, be cautious about keeping your windows wide open and letting people see, not wide open, but I mean the curtain's not closed tightly, because you do get people coming in that want to take a look and see what you got. And that's very prominent in Batavia today, because we are apparently considered a community of affluence, which is not a bad reputation to have. But also when you become a community of affluence, you become a community of criminal opportunity for people to know that if they break into this house or that one, they'll find a whole bunch of stuff in the house. So just be cautious about that and work with the police department. And we truly will have people on duty every moment of the next. We have them on duty all the time, but we'll have special ideas and special patrols in which we're going to try to keep people aware and alert about what somebody could do at their house if they're left with all opportunities to look in the windows and see nobody's home. And that you would immediately become a target for break-in to see what they can get out of those Christmas trees. So that's it for this week. I just want to close. Next week we'll be just starting the Christmas, actual days of Christmas, and I just want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas, and thank all those in Batavia who have come out and decorated their rear decks or their front yards or their corners. We have some fabulous Christmas decorations around town. I don't want to start giving addresses because there's so many. I'd get some people mad, or we would have some other problems with it. But I encourage you to get in the car and take a ride around. Both the east side and the west side, we're not lacking Christmas decorations on any part of the community. And I would encourage you to go out and take your family and really grab some or feel some of the spirit of Christmas that we have in Batavia at this moment in time. So again, Merry Christmas to everybody, and I'll look forward to talking to you real soon.